underserved Native American communities. Eastern Shoshone Recovery is partnering with the Washington State University in a research study to reduce alcohol use among Native Americans. The Honors Study, Honor Our Native Ongoing Recovery, is for Native American adults 18 and older who live in the Wind River Reservation and surrounding areas. If you participate in their alcohol research study, you'll be eligible for prizes and gift cards and will be contributing to the health and well-being of Native people. For more information, call the Eastern Shoshone Recovering staff, Sharon Wagon or Purcell McLeod at 349-6359, 349-6359, or visit them at 28 Black Coal Road, Fort Washakie. This important research study is approved and supported by the Eastern Shoshone and Northern Arapaho Business Councils.
In football, injuries can mean missed games or even the end of a career. Injuries caused by impaired driving can disrupt your life or change it forever. Hundreds of people in Wyoming are hurt in alcohol-related crashes each year, impacting the lives of friends, family, and touching everyone in the community. Don't let the decision to drive impaired cost you or your loved ones a sidelining injury. Stay off the injured list. Always designate a sober driver for the win. A message from WYDOT.
This is your Rustler Report, part of the pregame show brought to you by the Governor's Council on Impaired Driving, reminding you that buzzed driving is drunk driving. We get ready for Region 9 volleyball from Rustler Gym here in just a few minutes. CWC Rodeo is done for the fall portion of their season. An equine illness in Cheyenne has canceled the last rodeo for the fall. At the halfway point, Taylor Davidson sits first in the average of the steer wrestling. Thomas Davis is fourth in the barebacks and the bulldogging. Brady Thurston is fifth in the Saddle Broncs. On the ladies' side, Josie Vogel is fourth in the goats. Carson Bradley is sixth in the barrels. Team-wise, Coach Drew Schrock feels the break comes at a good time.
As far as the ladies' team go, they've had a pretty decent fall this fall. Timber Taylor, she pulled up some slack these last couple weekends. She won the goat tying this weekend. Carson Bradley's been knocking on the door pretty regularly, and they're sitting, I think, in fourth and not too far out of second place. So that's exciting for them. The men's team, they felt that chance to go as a team last year. A lot of them are back, and so I feel like the little bit of a break for both teams is going to be good.
Freshman golfer Somali Prom is now 5 for 5 in fall tournaments thus far. She won again at Otero this past weekend. As a whole, the entire team played well, and Coach Russ Holgate described a turning point prior to their last event.
We had a meeting at this last tournament, about a 2-hour meeting with the team, and we've changed our perspective. They've bought into being more of a team. Our culture is going to change, and I think that really helped us in this last tournament. You know, they all want certain goals, certain areas that they want to play better in, goals that they want to reach as a team, and just the culture itself is changing, and we're going in the right direction now, and I think just that in itself is going to help pull us together as a team and shoot better scores.
Golfers will end their fall season at Lamar, Colorado today. Cross country is at home for the first time this year. Gillette comes to Fremont County for a duel with the Rustlers at the Sinks Canyon Center.
Saturday at 9 o'clock out at Sinks Canyon Center. We're going against Gillette. They're the only other team in the state that has junior college cross country, and we're looking forward to it, having a home meet there on our home course. And I know we have a really good shot at the girls winning, and the guys are going to have to work a little bit. Like I said, our fifth guy is going to have to get up there and have one of his best races in order for us to do something against them.
That's cross country coach Al Lara. The Rustler men's basketball team will go to Windsor, Colorado for scrimmage games today and tomorrow, while his team plays 5 different opponents from states like Texas, Idaho, and Kansas. Coach Jack Nelson concerned mostly with his own team.
Honestly, it doesn't matter who we play at this point. It's more about us. We just have to focus on what we've been working on for the last week, and obviously this week before we go play those games, and just be a good opportunity to play against somebody that doesn't know what we do every day and that kind of stuff, and a good opportunity for our guys to see, okay, this is how this works, and we got to get better at this, and get some things on film and that kind of stuff, which I think is really helpful for guys to be able to see their mistakes instead of just have me tell them what they're doing wrong, and obviously see a lot of success as well. So that's great for us as a team, and then also there will be a lot of 4-year coaches from all levels, Division I through 3, NAI, so a good opportunity for our guys to be seen by those 4-year coaches, and a good recruiting opportunity for them.
The Rustler women will play a scrimmage next weekend in Utah to get their basketball schedule going. Be sure to keep up with the C-Dub athletes by checking out Rustler rustlerathletics.com. Coming up next, I'll talk with volleyball coach Darshea Gallard as the pregame show continues on Rustler Media. It's brought to you by the Governor's Council on Impaired Driving, reminding you that buzzed driving is drunk driving.
Rustler Athletics is supported by Bach Monument, applying a relentless passion for excellence to honor special people in special ways. Bach Monument, part of the Wyoming community since 1875 on West Main in Riverton, and online at bachmonument.com. Proud to support Rustler Sports on 88.1.
It's football season. Time to break out the team colors and get your tailgate game on. But if your pregame involves alcohol, your postgame must include a sober designated driver. More than 1 million drunk driving arrests are made each year in the United States. That's a roster you and your teammates don't want to be on. Don't let your postgame end in jail or worse. Make sure you and your friends have a safe ride home every time. If you've been drinking, never get behind the wheel. Designate a sober driver for the win. A message from YDOT.
Back to the pregame show on Rustler Radio, brought to you by the Governor's Council on Impaired Driving, reminding you that buzz driving is drunk driving.
Talking with Darshea Gallard, our head coach of the CWC volleyball team, and it feels like we just got started, and now all of a sudden we're playing our last 2 home games of the season. That can't be right, can it?
Yeah, it is correct. I mean, the volleyball season is just so short in itself, and the way our schedule is, these are our last games, tonight at 7 and tomorrow at 3.
2 very different opponents, I think, in one that nationally ranked coming in here tomorrow and flying high and maybe a little angry after getting beat by Northwest, and then you got Eastern and a team that's they're kind of struggling and trying to find identity. And I know you're as much worried about your own side of the net as anything, but I think tonight the kids have to be excited to go out there and take on this team and get that W.
Exactly. And so for us at this point, it's a focus point, because when we played Eastern at their house, we creamed them the first set, and then we lost our focus. So we are excited to see them again and keep our focus throughout our whole match with every set and make sure that we get a win tonight.
Injured, I see Brooklyn Thompson, concussion protocol, probably. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but she told me, so I guess I'm legal to say that. So she won't play tonight. How does that change rotation lineup, things like that?
Yeah, it changes it a lot. Brooke is a very important part of our team, and we have some other people that are going to just have to step up and be able to play, well against these tonight and tomorrow. And we have a lot of DSs, so I'm excited to see what happens.
How about the rest of our injured reserves that are playing injured? How are we feeling in that regard?
They're a little stronger, honestly. I think, Kayla, it's just she's still struggling, but she's going to push herself through tonight and tomorrow, kind of see how she does. And we'll have, our lineup will be waiting, our backup lineup will be waiting just in case. So
they have to be, I think we kind of hit on this, but on paper, Eastern looks like a very even. They're not the 2 very different rosters. I was typing in, 6 1s across the board for tomorrow's opponent, whereas there wasn't, the height doesn't seem to be there. So hopefully your team, takes that and builds upon it.
Exactly. And utilizing our height and our block and our strength of the net will be essential, and also being able to balance out our back row.
And then we'll talk probably more about tomorrow, but how do you approach a week like this? Is it just the next team at hand, or is it you do a little bit on both, or is it all centered on orange and black when you get into a prep week with 2 games like this?
Well, honestly, I mean, for me, I'm prepping for both games, but for the girls, I have them focus on 1 game at a time. And then we do walkthroughs before every match, and so they'll focus on Laramie tomorrow, and tonight they're focusing on Eastern.
Lastly, in high school, we talk about playing on homecoming weeks and different things like that. Pink night tonight, and I don't know anybody in the world that hasn't been affected by cancer in their life some way, shape, or form, in their family or relatives or something. So that's always an emotional one. And then you got a sophomore night tomorrow that always has emotions packed into that. How does, significance of Pink night for you and anything that you've talked about with the girls?
Yeah, we're actually having a lady sit with us on the bench who recently lost her husband to cancer. And we, are just representing those who have survived, those who have lost someone that they loved, and just bringing awareness and compassion, towards it and understanding.
All right. Anything else you want to throw out there?
No.
All right. I'm waiting for my Go Rustlers. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for right there. Said Coach Darshea Gallard. Stay with us as our pregame show continues. We'll be back with the starting lineups and serve it up. It's Eastern, it's Central. Region 9 volleyball next here on 88.1.
This has been the Rustler pregame show, brought to you by the Governor's Council on Impaired Driving, reminding you that buzz driving is drunk driving. Coming up, it's game time, right after this.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the field can result in lost playing time and heavy penalties. The unsportsmanlike choice to drive after drinking can also carry heavy penalties. Court costs, fines, legal fees, and insurance increases from a DUI can cost you thousands. Plus, you lose your license, maybe your job, and you can forget about your dating life. Be a stand-up player and make the sportsmanlike decision. Designate a sober driver for the win. A message from YDOT.
Welcome into Rustler Gymnasium. We are moments away from our national anthem here on Pink Night as Central takes on Eastern Wyoming College. Still plenty of room for you at the gym. I kind of thought with football and RHS volleyball not being in action tonight and sophomore night tomorrow, we might have a bigger crowd tonight, but not a big one yet here as of yet, Joel.
And especially with attendance has been pretty good, I think, overall this season as well.
Central and Eastern getting ready to do battle here at 7 o'clock at KCWC FM Riverton. Your national anthem is next. We'll come back and bring you the starting lineups and be able to serve this one up here on 88.1.
The spooky time of year is upon us once again. The CWC Halloween Halls of Horror are back. Friday and Saturday, October 27th and 28th, 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock. It will be held in the CWC Arts Center, and it will be fun for all ages. Admissions is only $3. This year's theme will be 1950s Americana, the undead. The Halls of Horror are sponsored by CWC and Trotta Club.
Hey, another session of the high school equivalency course, what they used to call the GED, is coming soon.
Set a reminder on your phone for October 16th to get registered for the next session at CWC.
All you need to do is come visit one of our classrooms between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, October 16th through 18th to register. We have offices in Riverton, Lander, Fort Washakie, and Jackson.
Remember, you will need your social security number, your government-issued ID, and $25 for the course fee.
Tuition waivers are available for those who qualify.
Don't wait. For more information, text GED to the radio station, 855-2268.
County 10 is Fremont County's online brand and source for news and information in real time, as it is happening. Connecting our community like never before, County 10 is proud to support Central Wyoming College and Rustler Athletics. County 10, connecting our community. It's always on at county10.com.
Volleyball is back on the air on Rustler Radio.
Starting lineups, I guess, being introduced for the Eastern Wyoming College Lancers. Julie Scherbine is in her fourth season at Eastern after 5 years as a head coach at Illinois Valley Community College. And she checks in with a 4-21 overall record, and they are 2-5 in Region 9. One of those two wins coming against Central the first time around on their home floor. They do have one player injured, and that is Katie Stroshine, one of the Wright products. Katie is fourth on their team in kills. Broke her elbow a week ago.
Well, that sounds painful.
Yes.
Because remember, we mentioned how it was odd seeing 4-Star Valley players on two teams. Here you got 4 Wright players on one team.
And then one last week on a different team and one on another team tomorrow that we're going to see. So.
And it's interesting because we talked about state championships, Wright, Star Valley. Valley and also volleyball schools in Wyoming.
Yeah, Winnette
and now back to the lineup.
Winnette doing a good job of right Lady Panthers. Lizette LaForge leads the team. She wears number 6. She is from Otis, Colorado, a 5'11 freshman. She leads the team in kills and in blocks on this team. Kylie Tresh, 369 sets. She's number 2 in digs and has 32 aces, which I thought was a lot on the season at 32, but we're going to see Carly Morrison from LCCC tomorrow that has 40 aces on the season and broke the LCCC single season record for aces on the year. Also, you'll see Dawson Sharman out there performing, and Alexandria Zimmerman. She is number 2 in sets, 2 in digs, and number 3 in aces on this team. Helena Curry is number 1 in digs at 382 for Coach Julie Sherbein.
Got to go here. I'm going to have to cue the coach.
All right, sounds good. On the other side, Central leading the way for CWC kills-wise. Tamara Lukic, 135 kills. Riley Burmester, 133. Leading assister is Naz Shaheen, 348 assists for Naz. Riley with 233, that'd be Riley Hatterley behind her. Burmester with 219 digs. Second on digs is Brooklyn Thompson. Brooklyn here tonight, not in action as she suffered a concussion last week when she collided with the knee of one Kayla Coles out there, if you remember that play last year. And Brooklyn Thompson is not in action tonight, so we're missing our libero, and they're missing their Katie Stroshine on the other side for the Eastern Wyoming Lancers. Burmester with 219 digs, Brooklyn just behind her with 213. Lukic has 25 aces, Shaheen has 21, Burmester and Coles 14 apiece. So wearing the libero jersey tonight is going to be Cassie Falslev. And Cassie, the 5'6 sophomore out of Logan, Utah. And Joel has done his job, and he has gotten the coach to shake hands, which has been a...
He's not a bad sport, I think. He just seems to manage to, in the excitement of the event, seems to lose track of that part of the coaching duties.
Central in their home whites, and well, I guess there's really no home or away in the volleyball world, but in their whites with the black and orange, they've got the pink socks on in honor of Pink Night. And on the CWC bench tonight is Kim Thornley, and kind of a twofold reason here. One being Pink Night, and Kim lost her husband, Mike Thornley, just this last summer to cancer, and partially that night, tonight honoring her and her battles with cancer with Mike, but also they had bid on and won the Coach a Game for a Night, honorary Coach a Game for a Night back at the Rustler 400 in March, and here they are utilizing that. Kim Thornley on the bench with the Rustlers tonight. Her daughter Erin played here in 2009 and 2010 and was an assistant coach in 2014. Sorry
I think I got that program here somewhere.
Steal words out of your mouth, Mr. Kindle.
But I do have the program, which you don't, so.
These two teams are currently 6th and 7th in the conference. Eastern 2 and 5. She wore number 11. Good job. And Central at 1 and 6. And Eastern will serve first. Kylie Tresh out of Wright, Wyoming, the 5'8 sophomore, leading setter, number 2 digger, and their best server. So going to put her out there serving right away as Central is on defense. They will serve it long. Lukic, Hatterley, and then Jensen Paris blocked at the front of the net. Back outside, Burmester. She'll go cross court and be dug. Back set with the left hand. Burmester blocked it and brings it back up from Jordeo. And then another block, this time by LaForge. She's their leading blocker on this team, and she starts off with one here tonight. And it's 1-0 Eastern after a pretty long first volley.
Yeah, able to control it between the lines, which was key on that block.
1-0 Eastern out in front very early. Overpass, slam dunk, missed by Dawson Sharman, but brought back over. Set to the outside, Burmester down the line. Clubbed back in the air by Tresh. Nicely done to bring that play. They'll go campfire. Nice pancake. Brought back up. Now outside, cross court is just outside on Dawson Sharman's attempt as Burmester kind of matrixed herself out of the way of that, and we're tied at 1 apiece.
Interesting, we talk about these high schools that have fed these Wyoming junior colleges. Interesting, where are the Cokeville players at junior college? Because they're there every year.
Almost had one a year ago. There's an overpass and a dunk by Jensen Paris, and she'll get the first kill of the night. Central their first lead, 2-1. Or was that Burmester that did that? Okay. Riley Burmester credit for the stuff and the kill. Hatterley serve down the line is out. Our first service error of the evening. And a substitution for Eastern Wyoming. Precious Williams will check in, a sophomore from Alliance, Nebraska. Number 4 in ace serves on her team at 12 per season on the year. Sarah Watson from Alliance doesn't know her. As Jensen Paris will record a kill.
A stat I'd like to see, which I don't know if they do, but I guess they do, but how many service errors does your ace leaders have?
Right.
Because sometimes it's a difficult serve to return, but it's also sometimes a difficult serve to keep in play.
High risk, high reward to the outside. Off the block and tallying Helena Curry. She is out of Rio de Janeiro. And she'll tally her first ace, the 5'7" sophomore. And that
haven't been there.
Rio, not Dio, that I typed on there. I must type in a hurry.
Didn't you do that the same city earlier?
I did. Rio de Janeiro. Naz Shaheen will send one long. The Forge is there. Left hand and the chicken wing in the back row by Williams. Shaheen will go back corner and break the tie. We were tied at 1s, 2s, and 3s, and now it's 4-3. Kayla Coles will come into the front line for Central. Kayla, 5'10" sophomore, will be honored tomorrow. Number 1 in blocks on this team, the Las Vegas Nevadan. Back set, left hand, down the line. Burmester got a piece of it, but give Giovanna Jordeo out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, her first kill.
I think I got more of a piece of her than she got a piece of it seemed like. Interesting, not a lot of great sets here in the early going for the two teams.
Paige Vitosh on. This is Alexandria Zimmerman out of Ogallala, Nebraska. So serve middle as Burmester is there. They'll go middle Cole. She'll just poke it over, and the libero J.C. Thomas comes and gets it. Blocked by Shaheen and Coles. And I was going to mention this earlier as Kayla gets part of a block, as does Naz. Central has a lot more solo blocks than other teams, and I'm not sure if that's kind of like how you tally assists in soccer or hockey. One team does it one way and another team does it another way. So another block, this one by Hatterley. Sorry, Joel.
We were talking about the stats for this region seem to be a little, what's the word, in flux.
Tied at 1s through 4s, and now it's 6-4 Central. Will not be tied at 5s. Shaheen, nice serve. Thomas receive. Back set. Cross court is out on the attempt by Vitosh. And it's 7-4 C-Dub. In the pregame, you heard Coach Garcia Gallard say, we came out and creamed them in the first game and then lost it, and then lost in 4 at Torrington. Wanted a fast start here. Burmester got a block, but Hatterley cleans it up. And then some miscommunication. Actually, that was not Burmester with the block. It was Lukic. And then miscommunication all the way around, and they'll try to free ball it over, and instead they free ball it out. 7-5. Serving, Curry. Cassie Falslev receives. Kayla Coles, a short tap. Brought back over by Friesman. Outside, Lukic off the block. Stays on the eastern side, and a great chicken wing on the floor from Sharman, but then tapped back over by Lukic for her first kill, and Central with an 8-5 advantage.
I mentioned Falslev just a bit ago, playing a position we've not seen her play, at least here at home, and probably hasn't played this year, I'm thinking. Playing the libero for CWC this evening.
Tamara Lukic, a 5'10 freshman out of Belgrade, Serbia, hammers a serve over. Hammering one back, but Lukic is there. Burmester down the line is out. Coach Gallard asking for a touch. Nobody gives her that courtesy, and it's 8-6, serving J.C. Thomas, a 5'4 sophomore from Wright, Wyoming. Lukic receives. Hatterley sets Cole. She'll have to tap it over on a short set. And then hitting it into the net is Dawson Sharman, second leading killer on this team from Sidney, Nebraska for Eastern Wyoming. Paris back into the front row for Central. Kayla Coles back to serve with a 9-6 advantage here in game number 1. Tap. Burmester is there in the campfire. Coles barely got a piece of it. It got touched partially by LaForge. Blocked by Hatterley and Paris again. Central doing a good job on blocking. They'll tap it over Paris, who would have got the block had they went after. Back row, Lukic. Good dig by Curry on a good pass, and then trying to dump it, Campfire. Zimmerman can't, and it's 10-6 C-Dub out in front.
A number of errors for Eastern here in the early going. Neither team very tall, by the way.
No, and I noticed that
6-footer on each team.
It'll be a lot different tomorrow when you look at that roster with a lot.
We're getting taller for tomorrow?
Very much so on the other side of the net. And a back set goes awry on LaForge, and it's 11-6 Central now. You can check this game out on channel 189 on your Charter Cable TV. If you're on campus, it's channel 52. Game also on Rustler TV, as I mentioned, through the web stream, also on the Wyoming PBS web stream through the Rustler Athletics page. Kill for Eastern makes it 11-7, and serving will be Kylie Tresh, 5'8" sophomore from Campbell County. That would be Wright High School as well. Jump serve received by Lukic. It goes awry, but Hatterley will bring it back right in front of us. Set middle. LaForge dug by Central. Burmester puts it into the top of the tape, and it's 11-8. Central out in front by 3.
Maybe it's just me, but it seems like she's not hitting it as high a percentage as we saw here earlier in some of these home matches.
3-point Central lead here in game number 1. Hatterley back sets Paris. Blocked but out. Jensen Paris the kill, her second of the night.
Played at a 4-year school for a year near Sacramento before she came to CWC. This is her second year.
That would be William Jessup University in Rockland, California. Transferred after a year back to Central. As Hatterley serves, it's out. Second service error of the night on CWC.
You may have heard Rockland on the news recently as one of those fire areas. In fact, not sure that was where the fire was at or where they were reporting from.
Serving, Precious Williams. Down by 3, short serve, Burmester. Hatterley back to Riley, taps it into the attempted block of Curry. And then with a left hand, a block by Paris and Burmester bring it back. Curry over. Hatterley goes to the net. Paris had to do a great job to stay out of the net, and Jensen Paris knocks it off of Tresh for her third kill of the evening.
The front row very active for CWC here in the early going.
3 blocks tallied, essentially 2, because we'll go halves on 1. But they've blocked a lot that didn't terminate, that have just kept the ball on that side of the net. Middle, touched again by Paris. And that'll be her first solo block of the night.
Well, they tried to tip her, and that didn't work at all.
14-9, Central out in front by 5. Burmester serving. Received Thomas. Outside they'll go through the block of Jensen Paris and count the kill for Helena Curry. Her second kill of the night for the 5'7" sophomore. So out of this team last year, Carmen Carvajal, if you remember Carmen, playing at Chicago State University, and that'll be an ace on the serve by Lizette LaForge.
Lucas just could not handle it that time.
Rocketed it past Lukic. 14-11 now on the scoreboard.
It's a pretty good serve this gal's got.
They'll go to Lukic at the 10-foot line. She'll kind of roll shot it over and got it in front of LaForge, and not a hard kill, but it goes on the ink for her second of the night.
Good side out for CWC. Moves that stronger server off the service line.
Falslev back in. She will serve as Paris goes to the bench. 15-11 Central. Back set to the left-handed Jordeo. That one was blocked. Probably out.
They played an out-of-bounds ball.
Who kept the kill then? Was that Kayla? I missed it. And a timeout on the floor. Give us a chance to talk a little bit about Eastern Wyoming. Carmen Carvajal played last year. All-region performer at Chicago State University in Chicago. Shelby Welsh is at an NCAA Division III team at Lakeland University in Plymouth, Wisconsin. Teams would split games at LCCC in their preseason scrimmage, and then 2 of Eastern's 4 wins have come against Central Wyoming College. So Central trying to get off that schneid and get another conference victory themselves. 16-11 here in game number 1. CWC men's basketball team on the road this weekend in some scrimmage games.
Is that in Fort Collins where they're playing?
Technically Windsor is what they're...
I think Gillette College is in that as well.
I think there's a whole bunch. Casper used to host this, but they have decided not to host it anymore, so Windsor, Colorado picked it up. And Coach Jack Nelson chatted with him earlier, and they won 1 and lost 2, he said, but competed well in both. So
wasn't happy with his team's defense in practice when I talked to him earlier this week.
They will have two more games tomorrow. Then they're 40 minutes running clock, essentially, and I think he's played just about everybody on the roster.
One of those in Casper, in fact, a couple years ago.
Falslev serve. Thomas receives. Outside Curry. Blocked by Coles and Shaheen. Can't fire, but there's Lukic to Shaheen. Back set. Tapping it over. Hatterley is there. Swing and a miss. And all over the middle line, but no calls there. Lukic off the block. Shanked once. Brought back in by Williams and free-balled over by Friesman. Boy, scrappy volley this time by Eastern. They're digging up that tip as Williams. Cross-court, Lukic is there. Hatterley back to Burmester on the 10-foot line. She'll set it deep. Thomas will get it. Left side, Jordeo over the top of the block will end the rally. And Jordeo with her second kill of the evening.
Boy, kind of in scrappy mode the whole way. They never had a really good kill attempt, but they kind of scrapped themselves a point.
Zimmerman back in along with Paige Vitosh from Odell, Nebraska.
Not know where that is.
Tresh serve. Back set. Shaheen. Nice kill by Naz. The Izmir Turkey 5'10 freshman. And Naz will go back to serve. She wants to be a plastic surgeon, by the way. Was recruited by University of Tampa, New Hampshire, and UMass Boston, and she'll serve that one out, unfortunately.
Interesting. How did we get her? I would think Tampa, a 4-year school, would seem more attractive.
Plastic surgeon certificate we have at Central.
That's part of our new cosmetology thing?
I'm thinking. No, that's a good question.
They are the Spartans at Tampa, by the way.
She knows... who was our player last year that could have played again this year but didn't? Basketball. Set deep. Ali Demir. She knows him, as that might have something to do with it. Blot back out. Thomas goes from the back row. Falslev is there. Outside Lukic. Off the block and count it. Friesman got a piece of it. Tamara Lukic with her third kill of the evening. 18-13 Central out in front. And Tamara Lukic to serve. She wanted a new experience in the USA. She has a kind of an interesting story she put on the bio sheet as that ball goes up. Lukic is there in the back row and one hands it, brings it up. Naz Shaheen will send it deep. Back to the outside. That one's off the top of the tape. I don't think Central got a piece of it.
Nope.
Referee doesn't say basically 4. He says it falls down, but 19-13 Central out in front. We've got a timeout on the floor. Tamara Lukic says she loves to sing, and in elementary school was in a singing competition but had to stop singing because of a health condition. And I've been going to follow up on that and have not done that. CWC Rodeo is off for the rest of the fall. An equine illness broke out in Cheyenne, and nobody wanted to get their horses quarantined, so they weren't going to go anyway. And so they think they'll make that rodeo up in the spring, so rodeo is done for the year. Cross country will host Gillette tomorrow morning at the Sinks Canyon Center, and the course that Al Lara built himself up there in the hills of Sinks Canyon. That'll be at 9 a.m.
They disappear for a while, they reappear somewhere else later.
The run in the Sinks.
Amazing run.
Golfers are wrapping up their fall portion as well. Somali Prom, how about the Utah product, the freshman, 5 for 5 golfing in the first 5 events of the season. Coach Holgate thought there was a girl back from ankle surgery that gave her a run last week, but she's held her off and beat her, and he expects her to keep getting stronger and force Somali a little bit as well.
We worked over with a sandwich during rounds.
CWC women's basketball team here in attendance tonight, and they will play 4 games in Utah next week. 4 tough games, I think. Snow, Slick, College of Southern Idaho, and one other. So 4 very tough games to start the season for Coach Ken Schwartz' ladies team.
But not Rick's, because Rick's
correct
doesn't have sports in their 4-year school.
Cody Edwards, also of Wright High School, has just checked into the lineup for Coach Sherbein, who trails 19-13. Tough serve, Lukic got a piece of the net to kind of help out the defense in Curry. Back row attempt is in.
Well, it's weird because they're having a hard time getting it over in the front row, and a back row attempt does fall for them.
Elena Curry with her 3rd kill, and J.C. Thomas will serve for Eastern, trailing by 5, 19-14 here in game number 1. Falslev is there. Hatterley brings it back. Burmester went deep. Thomas is there. Near side kill recorded. Dawson Sharman out of the home of Cabela's, Sidney, Nebraska, the 5'8 freshman.
Also my middle name, by the way.
Sidney?
It is.
Joel Sidney Kindle. CWC volleyball team on the road for the final 5 matches of their season after this weekend. They'll play, of course, here right now, and then they'll play here tomorrow at 3. Region 9 tournament will be in Sheridan the 2nd weekend, and I wrote of April. I don't know what I was thinking.
It'll be 8th of November it begins. I got it right here. 8th of November.
I typed 2nd week of April.
That's when your taxes are due. I think you got a mistake there. Hope you don't send your taxes in
that
the 2nd week of November.
Joel and I will be there in November.
I will be. I'm kind of wondering about you at this point.
Possibly wait till April to check it out. And if you're into glaciers, climbing, and all things alpine, CWC has the Alpine Science Institute. There's an article published about those students in Scientific America. It's on Twitter at CWC_Rustlers. Some of the stuff going on
Sounds
at
interesting.
CWC.
Yeah, they better hurry because not going to be many glaciers left pretty soon from what I've been reading.
Unfortunately. 1915 Central, the lead. Serving is J.C. Thomas. Falslev receives. Hatterley to Coles. Tap, can't fire, but there is Vitosh. Set middle. Touched a couple of times, but LaForge will pick up her first kill of the night. She is their leading kills leader, and she just picked up her first of the night at the 1916 mark.
This is a run of, 3 points in a row?
It was 1914. Burmester off the block of Vitosh will tally.
The Eastern volleyball team introduces themselves to our women's basketball team. They're about 3.
Jensen Paris back to the front line. Kayla Coles will serve. Kayla wants to be an athletic director one day after her playing career.
Well, Steve's not here this weekend.
Jensen Paris, and picking that up off the ground was LaForge. Paris receives Hatterley out to Burmester. Down the line. No, she guys will go cross court, and she'll send it over the block and out. Northwest atop the Region 9 standings at 6-1. LCCC
tied.
Also 6-1, but Northwest has beaten LCCC, so I gave them the nod.
Of course, they'll play again at LCCC, so that might even out.
Casper.
In fact, I think tomorrow's match, we will play, I think, one of those 2 teams that are playing tonight, Northwest and Casper, so I think we'll get in the first round.
A lot of volleyball left, but definitely a possibility as Lukic roll shots it over. Back to the outside, Sharman down the line, dug by Falslev. Good job by Shaheen as she goes into the folding chairs, and they'll free ball it over. And then Camp fired, but there is Lukic. Hatterley to Shaheen, back row, Thomas digs. So 3-point game. Tap to the left with the left hand by LaForge. She'll tally and make it a 2-point ball game. 2018.
Better luck with the directional tap, it seems like, is what they're kind of doing right now.
Central has been on it blocking tonight, that is for certain. Hard-fought first game, 20-18. Hatterley to Burmester. Off the touch, Thomas is there. Coming in to get it, Tresh. Tapped, Burmester got a piece of it.
But headed it out of bounds.
But getting the kill is Eastern, and it's a 1-point game. Boy, Central had a 5 or 6 point lead here a little bit ago, and now it's dwindled down to 1. Campfire digging it out of there is Tresh, and that'll be an illegal set. Tresh is normal setter, and Dawson Sharman had to give it the second hit, and she got called for the double, and it's 21-19. Central with Riley Hatterley to serve.
I think Eastern has kind of caught on to that Campfire attempt pretty well, too, because maybe gone to that maybe a few too many times.
Outside, Sharman through the block. Dawson with her third kill, the 5'8 freshman. And she will check out in place of Precious Williams, who will serve it up in a one-point ball game. 21-20, late stages of game number 1 from Rustler Gym. Back set, Burmester, touch block at the net. They'll go back set to Jordeo. She'll have it blocked and chicken winged it back up in the air. Curry off the top of the net and out. And that'll be Central ball. They're not giving any indication. They're going to say touch. Jensen Paris says, no, I didn't see it either. It hit the tape and then came out. So we're tied at 21s on a missed call.
Coach could not get a timeout in at time, so
Lukic hammers one, but it's dug in the back row and free balled over by Curry. Hatterley sets Shaheen, tries to send it over. Shaheen alertly pulls it out of the net and then sent over by Burmester that'll get the kill. That is a huge point, Central.
Got themselves in trouble a couple of times, and a timeout was wanted to be called before that point anyhow.
How about the play by Shaheen to pull that one out of the net? That takes some concentration as Burmy will send it over. Overpass, and that'll be an illegal play. Catching it almost was Jordeo. 2 big points by Central in a row to put them out to a 23-21 lead. Again, Brooklyn Thompson not playing for Central tonight due to concussion protocol. Hopes to be back next week. Block, but Curry uses the block to get her 4th kill and make it a 1-point ball game.
And we were talking about seeing more calls being made this year. And oddly enough, I was watching Division I volleyball the other night, and they said they felt they're letting more stuff go this year than in the past, which is kind of opposite of what we've seen as CWC gets that point.
Shaheen looked like she was going to smash it, then tip it, and she kind of did.
Just aimed it.
Between the two, a very aggressive tip.
It was tip-top.
Game point, Central serving Falslev. Touch, pushed up in the air, Coles. Lukic will knock it down, but it's picked up by Eastern. That ball goes out, and any touches listed by anyone? No. And Central with a 25-22 Game 1 win. So just like at Eastern, Central comes out and wins Game 1, not in
steamroller fashion,
creaming fashion, but took care of things nonetheless, and they take a Game 1 win, 25-22. Central is out in front, 1-0 in our best 3 out of 5. Stay with us. We'll be back with more volleyball. This is Rustler Volleyball from Rustler Media.
Sponsorship of Rustler Radio comes from Denver Air Connection, offering daily flights from Riverton Regional Airport to Denver International in a 30-passenger jet. The flight features in-cabin service, and TSA check-in at Riverton is included. More information can be found at denverairconnection.com. Rustler Sports on the Radio comes from the restaurants of the Wind River Hotel and Casino. Dining is available no matter time of day or week. The Red Willow is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The Buffalo features 4 different choices, Thursday through Sunday from noon to 9 p.m., and the Genicoo Cafe is open 24/7. The restaurants of the Wind River Hotel and Casino, located 1 mile south of Riverton on Highway 789.
Support of Rustler Athletics is brought to you in part by Rendezvous Dental of Riverton, providing dental care to patients spanning all ages. Dr. Colton Crane and Dale Sackett combined for over 50 years of dental practice in Fremont County. Appointment and information can be found at rendezvousdental.com.
Sports on Rustler Radio is brought to you in part by Fremont Therapy Group. They've partnered with Lander and CWC to protect the health of student athletes. For the past 20 years, Fremont Therapy Group has been volunteering their time and resources on the sidelines of local high school sports to help keep student athletes safe and healthy. They also teach classes at Lander Valley High School to help students learn more about the field of athletic training. A proud partner of CWC Athletics is Fremont Therapy Group, Riverton, and Lander. More can be found at FremontTherapyGroup.com or on Facebook at Fremont Therapy Group.
Volleyball on Rustler Media is brought to you in part by Edward Jones, financial advisor, Mick Pryor. Make sense of investing with Edward Jones and Mick Pryor, located 1 block east of the Riverton Post Office, providing retirement and investing advice, including stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and CDs. It's never too early or too late to start planning for your financial future. Appointments are available at 856-6116. Edward Jones Financial Advisor Mick Pryor, 856-6116.
All right, now what do I click?
The Internet. Schedules, scores, and stories of Rustler sports at RustlerAthletics.com.
Internet magic. Coverage of CWC Sports on Rustler Media is brought to you in part by the Third Base Sports Bar, offering the NFL Sunday Ticket, college football, UFC fights, and more sports on 6 different TVs. There is also foosball and darts, along with appetizers and your favorite beverage. Your last stop before home, the Third Base Sports Bar on North Federal in Riverton.
This is CWC Volleyball from Rustler Media. Let's go to Game 2.
Rustlers up 1-0 after a 25-22 victory in the opening set. Falslev, Hatterley, Lukic, Shaheen, Paris, and Burmester on the court for Central. Hatterley will start the serve. Thomas, Curry, Jordeo, also Sharman, Tresh, and I believe Lizette LaForge is the other one. Hatterley serve. Cross court, dug by Burmester. They'll give it back out to, back row, Lukic, touched at the top of the net by LaForge. They'll go back to LaForge. She'll can't fire it and score it. Lizette LaForge with her 3rd kill of the evening, and it's 1-0 Eastern out in front.
You know, it really helps CWC in that first set were the 2 infractions towards the end of that set by Eastern.
Serving Tresh, boy, doubled up by
like
Central.
That's like an infraction there.
Paris tapped it over to the outside, cross court, and in tally Dawson Sharman. 4th kill for Dawson, 2-0 Eastern.
The biggest lead, I think, of the match.
I don't think they led in game 1, did they?
That's why it's their biggest lead of the match.
Boy,
that
Lukic,
looked wrong, too.
Yeah, Lukic, I think, got away with one there as Shaheen will send it over, and they'll call her for the double. And it's 3-0 Eastern now.
Called my teammate on it sooner. I wouldn't have been called for it now.
Tresh again leads the team with 32 aces.
It's got some pretty good zing on it.
10-foot line, Burmester, dunked by Curry. Back set, block by Paris and Burmester, and then punched over, and they're going to call that.
Call it for what, the double?
Double, yeah.
The punch didn't look clean to you, did it?
I thought the punch did, but the play prior to that to get it to the punch station was
to Big Pineyville, eh?
Not legal. Big Piney was in town today, as a matter of fact. There's a roll shot into the net by Dawson Sharman, 3-2. Big Piney played Bighorn at the Wolverine Field here today.
They did. I was wondering what was going on. I live nearby.
And Bighorn won that, by the way.
It seemed like homecoming was lasting a real long time, so.
Wolverine football playing as that serve goes into the net.
An important game at Buffalo, in fact.
Yeah, 4 service errors by Central tonight. None for the visitors who are serving right now. Effort to that Riverton football score, hopefully, here in a minute.
It should just be a little bit underway, shouldn't it?
Yeah, they're in the second quarter. It's tied at 14 apiece as Lukic down the line. That is out. And it's 5-2 Eastern out in front, serving Precious Williams. Yeah, second quarter, Riverton and Buffalo knotted up at 14 apiece. I didn't realize this. Riverton has won the last 5 in that series as Lukic tallies one down. Her 4th.
Interesting, because I think we were doing some games when they weren't doing all that well against Buffalo.
5 the other direction back when we were broadcasting that sport. Cole's back in, serving. Falslev pushed through the block.
Well, she did a great job avoiding the net because I thought she was net bound.
Giovanna Jordeo tallies, and it's 6-3 Eastern out in front. Cassie Falslev, by the way, out of Logan, Utah, wants to study nutrition. Shaheen sends it to Jordeo, and then they shank it a bit, and it goes out of bounds. 6-4.
The start of the year, Taylor Hodges started for us. We've not seen her yet in this one, or Alyssa Barkhurst either, for that matter.
And I thought maybe with Brooklyn out, Alyssa might see some more court time, but Shaheen serving.
Well, especially since we've seen quite a bit lately anyhow, but
pushed over and then out, brought back, and free balled over by Falslev. And then 2 throws. Coles off the knee of Precious Williams. Kayla Coles with her first kill of the evening. Kayla battling injuries all season long, playing hurt essentially. And here comes Naz Shaheen, down by 1, Central serving. Outside, touch on the attempt by Curry at the net. Hatterley sends it over. But there's Jordeo, cross court. Lukic, back at Lukic, through the block and tally it. We're tied at 6 apiece. Tamara Lukic, her 5th kill of the evening for CWC.
Negated that early run for Eastern.
Paige Vitosh is going to check into the ball game. As she will check in for Giovanna Jordeo. Vitosh, again, as I mentioned, out of Odell, Nebraska. Set, Curry over the block and out, they'll say. Looked like it caught the corner to my eyes.
Good. Interesting, they were talking to, I said, watch some Division I volleyball, and they talked about teams' expressions of trying to get the touch and really believing you had the touch. So
7-6. Tresh, great job at the net to bring that back. Falslev might have played an out ball. Lukic off the touch. And we'll tally it. And in the back row, it looked like Lizette LaForge let that go because she thought it was going to be out, which it was, but it was touched at the net, and I thought pretty visibly. Hard to see if, from what her angle was, if she was screened by somebody else. Curry with a good dig. Set middle. Stuff block. Kayla Coles. Second block of the night as she stuffs Cody Edwards. And a timeout called. Julie Sherbein, as I mentioned, in her 4th season at Eastern.
And that seems like a long time, too, because I can't think of his name. He was there for like...
Burl Pesh.
He makes, Ken Schwartz looks like a teenager, so...
Julie's assistant is Jesselyn Burrows, a graduate of Southeastern High School. If you remember, Southeast beat Cokeville in a football game when a young man named Jeff Burrows was a freshman. If you remember that, Jeff Burrows is now a walk-on at the University of Wyoming. Her younger brother's a fullback, 6'1", 245, and walking on. But Jesselyn Burrows played under Bart Troutwine at Southeast High School.
Long-time Wheatland coach.
And chatted with her for a few minutes prior to.
Southeast ranked this year? I know Cokeville is ranked number 1 in that class.
The Southeast Cyclones ranked 5th, and they're getting blanked by Pine Bluffs right now, 14-0. Pine Bluffs ranked 2nd, by the way, the defending champions. Earlier today, Wind River was beaten by Cokeville, 37-0.
I thought that might be worse than that, which is give Wind River something for that.
Shoshone winning by forfeit over Wyoming Indian, who has forfeited the rest of their season due to low numbers.
Rock River's done that all year long, too, haven't they?
Landers leading Douglas in the second quarter, 6-0. Tigers battling there. Block again by Kayla Coles, this time of Paige Vitosh, her 3rd block of the night.
And reminiscent of our first set where the blocks were early for CWC.
Central coming back off the carpet from a 4-0 deficit. And they will not allow the sub to come in. Jordeo, they had already blown the whistle to serve. Referee waves her out of there. Good job by Vitosh to stay out of the net. And then Kayla Coles with her hardest spike of the season that we've seen. Drills one off of Precious Williams, and Kayla Coles, her 2nd kill of the night. Wow, she tattooed that one. 11-6, Central out in front.
Pretty good run because they were down 3-0.
Tresh outside Curry through the block. Falslev digs it up. Nice job, Cassie. Shaheen sets it deep corner. Thomas will dig. Back set. Reinserted back into the ball game is Jordeo. Shaheen blocked at the net. Nope, they'll call 4. As Edwards was there, but ball hits off the top of the tape. And Shania Friesman from Gordon, Nebraska will check in.
They're 1 6-footer on the roster.
And Alexandria Simmerman from Ogallala back onto the court. Serving down by 4, 11-7. Central leads 1-0. Hatterley has to come get that one. Back row attempt, Burmester, dug by Curry. Outside back to Curry, blocked. Thomas self-defense move, brings it back up, and then tried to set it over was Friesman, and it goes right into the top of the net. And it's a point Central.
Is it my imagination, but Burmester about the only player we set back row in this roster?
Lukic gets one or two
that's
here
right.
and there,
That's
but
right. She does get one or two.
Burmester, yes, mostly if it's going to go back row, there's a good chance it's going to be to her. Punched deep, and I'll call a back row attempt on call a violation on Eastern.
I think that tells you something about the crowd here. We can hear the conversation very easily between the coach and the official.
Talking about the plane of the net and the ball being fully over to make a block attempt on it.
I will say this, it is kind of confusing sometimes, even watching the Division I stuff. How is that defined exactly?
Ball you can't touch it until it comes over the net in certain instances as the block. Sending it deep is Edwards. Central is there as we're back to action. Burmester, touch block by Friesman. Outside Curry, blocked and off the antenna by Riley Hatterley, and getting the kill is Helena Curry, is her 5th of the night.
I know what you're saying, John, but I mean, I've seen so many where it seems like it's being roughed before it ever gets across, or any part of the ball even.
And it's beyond my volleyball comprehension, I hate to admit. And there's an ace by Helena Curry as that ball hits the top of the tape and falls down. First ace for Curry, second ace of the night for Eastern.
Really not much you can do that. You're in receive mode, and it drops like a rock. It's
no way to defend that one, and she will send it over this time further as Falslev. They'll go Coles, blocked back at her by Friesman. Back outside Burmester, over Friesman.
Nice
Referee,
placement.
the line judge said out, but she changed her mind. The near side official saw it, and Burmester's going to get the kill.
And I think it was the right call.
And it's 14-9. I think the line judge was saying in but motioned out. That's an ace. They let it go, and it just flew up some chalk on the end line, and Kayla Coles with an ace. That is Central's first ace of the evening. They lead by 6, and there'll be their 5th service error, unfortunately, as Kayla sends that one into the net. Other matches going on tonight. Northwest is at Casper, number 1 versus number 3. That's a big one. Miles is at Sheridan. That one's not so much. And LCCC is at Western. I think that I should just delegate that to you and have you bring copies, and then we both won't have to work on that. As Paris sends it over. Outside, blocked by Central, but out of bounds it goes, and Dawson Sharman recording her 5th kill.
I do have tomorrow's as well, by the way. So
as do I. And I have who their losses came to.
But I'm using abbreviations more.
You're using a typewriter is what you're using. Back row attempt, Lukic. Nice dig by Curry. It's 15-11 Central. They lead 1-0. Good try by Naz Shaheen, but another kill by Dawson Sharman.
It's one of those new IBM Selectrics, though, I'll tell you.
New and typewriter in the same sentence.
Well, they didn't want to be part of that ball.
Yeah.
They planned on letting it go and then caught it in the breadbasket.
And the way they're lining up, though, is Shaheen is really not supposed to play defense. He's just kind of hidden back there. And then Thomas sends it into the net. First service error of the night by Eastern.
We test John's theory at this point.
Well, it hasn't happened yet because Central has 5 and Eastern has only 1 service error. That theory of service errors coming in pairs, and Hatterley will defy that logic, luckily for Central. Friesman blocked by Paris and Burmester.
I do miss Eastern's yellow and black uniforms, and they used to look like bees, though. Now they're wearing that kind of a gray, but it's almost like a brownish gray. That's
like charcoaly.
I like the bee look.
17-13 Central. They lead 1-0. Overpass, Paris into the net, no call.
They've let a lot of people go under the net, it seems like, in this match.
Paris will hammer one, and it almost takes out one of the youngsters in the front row, but the Bot Monument folks, the parents, saving her skull on that one from Thomas as she shanked it a bit.
They'll make a new poster of least favorite player now.
Paris will get her 4th kill of the night. Keep up with the Rustlers on your favorite device. Sarah does a great job of...
On my typewriter?
your favorite post-20th century device.
Oh.
Sarah Watson does a great job with the Rustler Athletics app you can find on the App Store. And you can search for Rustler Athletics from Presto Sports. Stay up to date with sports news. Search for Rustler Athletics in that App Store, as I mentioned. And, of course, don't forget the website, rustlerathletics.com. And keep up to date with the Rustlers.
Baseball playoffs back underway tonight, too. The Yankees at Houston.
Yankees after rising up after being down 2-0 to the Indians.
Have a chance to beat two 100-win teams in a row before getting to the World Series, which would be remarkable.
Where the Dodgers might be awaiting them for a 3rd.
Yeah. That's never happened before, to beat 3 of them. Of course, they've only beaten 1 so far, so we're a ways away.
They got a ways to go, absolutely. Riley Hatterley serving the Star Valley Products. Recruited by Northwest College also, but chose Central. Back row, Curry, and out. 19-13 Central. Hatterley and Burmester part of a senior class at Star Valley last year that won 9 state titles, not just the senior class, but the school as a whole. Nicely done to bring it back by Hatterley, but Paris was already in the air, and that one's going to fall to the floor and be an Eastern point.
It fell on the floor after it hit an Eastern player under the net, actually, first.
Jordeo is going to come back into the lineup. Back to serve goes Kylie Tresh.
Well, you got Star Valley ranked number 1 in football right now. Volleyball, they got a young team that keeps getting better.
Tresh adds to her ace tally, as that will be her 33rd of the season.
I believe Star Valley got beat last night in volleyball.
Star Valley has beaten Powell earlier today, though, 40-7. We've got a timeout on the floor. 19-15 our score.
Rematch of last year's state championship game.
Yeah, a couple of different things going on in the world in Central Wyoming College, like cosmetology coming to CWC. Full offerings beginning in January. For questions about new programs, admissions would be the place to go. Also, the new complex for agriculture, animal science, and equine studies has been approved by the Board of Trustees for Level 3 design. We'll have community surveys asking for information about programs and needs for the new facility. Your chance to speak up on that is coming soon, so check that out. Of course, the scholarship application has opened up online. The deadline of that is not too far off in the future as well, so get everything you need to know at cwc.edu. Kylie Tresh serving. Shaheen brings it back, and it's free-balled over. Push, Lizette LaForge, dug, back row, Shaheen, blocked, and out. Shaheen will get her 3rd kill of the evening. Hatterley's taken on more of the bulk of the setting duties as Shaheen has become a hitter in this first and second game so
Eastern
far.
has overset a number of times in this match.
LaForge off the block of Paris will tally and make it 20-16. 4th kill for the Otis, Colorado freshman.
I have to ask Kylie Johnson where Otis is.
Precious Williams serving. Keep you up to date on that Wolverine football game. Slam dunk, Lizette LaForge on an overpass by Central.
Well, the overpass overset that time committed by us.
5 kills by LaForge, 3 of them here in the second stanza. Much like game 1, Central had a sizable lead, and then they've been reeled in a bit here. 20-17, backset Shaheen. Off the top of the tape is going to be a 4th hit coming up, and it's 20-18 now.
Very similar to that first game.
21-21 in that last game, and then 2 big points went Central's way as they won it 25-22. Paris smashes one down. Trying to get to that was Tresh and Jensen Paris, her 5th kill. Central won game 1, 25-22. How about Western Nebraska, ranked number 2 in the country, as Central will get their 6th service error of the night.
Oh, we used to play them on occasion.
They played them earlier this year, actually, yes. Kirsty Trees from Riverton High School, a libero on that team, a defensive specialist for Western Nebraska, as a matter of fact. And Eastern, with a mistake in the backcourt, will give up the point, and it's 22-19. Thomas back on in the libero role for Eastern, trailing by 3, serving Naz Shaheen.
Eastern got caught in a scramble mode and never got out of it.
Shaheen sets, or goes short, back row Thomas. Just got it over the block of Coles in front of Thomas, and J.C. Thomas.
Yeah, your libero's not going to get too many kills.
The 5'4" sophomore out of Wright gets the kill. And that goes out on the second service error. We are in the second set. Central up 1-0 and leading this one 23-20. Serving Lukic over to the front of the net and tapped over, but off the antenna by Friesman, and it's game point Central on the brink of a 2-0 lead here at home. Lukic, leading acer on the team, just puts it long.
And that's why I'd kind of like to see that stat. I know it's kept. I just, you typically don't look at service errors and you look at some of these aces on the year.
Dawson Sharman back into the contest.
Set point here.
Back set. Actually, Burmester still now game point, as Joel said, at 24-21. Back set, Coles, too much distance to cover, puts it into the net, and it's a 2-point game.
Last game was 25-22. We're on the brink of that right here.
That is a serve that goes out and ends the set.
With that same score of 25-22.
Pretty easy for the insignificant stat of the game then to come up with that.
Let me go type it up. I'll be right back.
25-22 Central takes game number 2. They have won the first 25-22, win the second by the same score. Stay with us. More volleyball is on the way after this timeout. Central up 2-0 here on Rustler Radio. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Richard didn't want to die, but he couldn't stop himself. The collision with the car didn't kill him, but he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so he continued on his journey. When he hit the inside of the car, that didn't kill him, but his internal organs kept traveling until they hit his rib cage, and his lungs were punctured, and the main artery from his heart was torn. That's what killed Richard. And his unbuckled body smashed me, and now I travel in a wheelchair.
This is Cody Beers with YDOT. What's stopping you? Always wear a seatbelt. It's the law.
Media coverage of Rustler Athletics is sponsored in part by Wyoming Wireless, providing smartphones, mobile devices, and wireless service. They are a Verizon authorized retailer. Product brands include Apple, Motorola, Samsung, and more. With 18 locations across Wyoming, including 2 in Riverton, 1 on Main Street in downtown, and the other on North Federal Boulevard. They also have locations in Lander and Thermopolis and online at wyowireless.com.
Rustler Athletics is supported by Bach Monument, applying a relentless passion for excellence to honor special people in special ways. Bach Monument, part of the Wyoming community since 1875 on West Main in Riverton, and online at bachmonument.com. Proud to support Rustler Sports on 88.1.
Wyoming basketball fans, the season is almost here, and tickets are on sale now to watch your defending CBI champion Cowboys, as well as your WNIT participant Cowgirls in the newly renovated Arena Auditorium. Single game tickets are available now for over 30 games in the Dome of Doom. Don't miss the action in the AA this winter. Get your tickets now by calling 307-766-7220 or visiting GoWyo.com.
Sponsorship of Rustler Radio comes from Denver Air Connection, offering daily flights from Riverton Regional Airport to Denver International in a 30-passenger jet. The flight features in-cabin service, and TSA check-in at Riverton is included. More information can be found at denverairconnection.com.
The CWC Theater Department brings you Let's Murder Marcia. Bianca, what am I going to do? About what, ma'am? My husband, Tobias, and that dreadful DeVore woman are planning to murder me.
Oh, come now, ma'am. You've been reading too many mysteries.
But I heard them. They're going to lure me down to the bay, bot me with a bottle, and dump me in the drink.
The fall production at Central Wyoming College is Let's Murder Marcia. Evenings October 12th through the 14th, and a matinee on Sunday the 15th at the Arts Center Theater.
Tickets are available at the CWC box office or online at tickets.cwc.edu.
Let's Murder Marcia, October 12th through the 15th at Central Wyoming College.
Things could get sticky afterward when the police came around.
But I could tell them it was to prevent my murder.
Could you prove it?
Well, I heard them. You heard them. Wouldn't that be enough?
I'm inclined to doubt it. Police seldom get called to find a dead husband and take the word of a wife and her lover about why he died.
But you're not my lover.
Try telling that to the police.
This is CWC Volleyball from Rustler Media. From Rustler Gym, Game 3 is ready to go.
CWC up 2 games to none here by identical scores of 25-22, giving you the old cumulative score of 52-44. Having some technical difficulties we're trying to get resolved. Eastern will serve first as we start game number 3. Tresh at the service line. Back row Lukic in, point CWC 1-0. After I mentioned who does back row hits.
Asking you shall receive. Yes, she's got
right
7.
Adderley to serve. Blocked by the front row of CWC once again. Free ball will have to get knocked over.
Boy, how about that hustle by J.C. Thomas? Yeah. Shaheen sends it out.
You were talking about her. You say they hide her on defense a little bit, do they?
Well, I wouldn't say hide, but she's kind of behind them when she's in the back row for alignment purposes, and the other 3 girls in front of her play the defense, if you will.
I was curious, does that open up the court more?
Burmester sends one over the top, her 5th kill.
Placement the key there.
Not sure why. Obviously, if you're watching on TV, you can't hear us tell you that you can't hear us. Efforting our Amanda Media there as Burmester sends it over. 2-1 Central. Jensen Paris.
Has it been that way the whole night, do you know? Or
I'm guessing.
We had a live program last night. I hope something in our area has not been.
It's going over the live stream of the video, which comes out of the control room, so I'm not sure why over Rustler TV it's not coming over. 3-1 Central out in front. Burmester from the back row. Thomas digs. Set middle. LaForge, little dink, and Lisette LaForge with her 6th kill.
That's kind of unfortunate. We've had such insightful things to say during the broadcast.
It is unfortunate people aren't up on that.
Balsov will dig it. Shaheen blocked at the net.
Paris. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I wasn't sure if I was back on or not.
Finisher out.
Burmester will send it out.
That was Lukic.
Oh, Lukic, I'm sorry.
On the outside. We're tied at 3s.
Left row with the back row. Falstaff will put it over. And the block by Paris points CWC 4-3.
3 blocks for Jensen Paris to go along with 6 kills for her tonight.
It's one of her more complete games, I think. To me, it seems like what we've seen so far.
Lukic with 7 kills tonight as well. She's going to
She's perhaps getting thirsty.
Putting herself in the front running is Falslev in the back row. Kind of had a little indecision how to play that.
And I would say another person to consider actually would be Falslev, who's having to play out of position. Did not even get on the court in our last match. And here she's having to play a different position. And, that's pretty key, really.
4-4 the score.
That was some of that inside I was falling asleep at.
2-0 Central. Coles tallies again. Kayla has only 3 kills, but she also has 3 blocks and an ace tonight.
To tell the truth, she looks healthier tonight, too.
Service long by Shaheen. And if Central has, I guess, a dark spot on the night in a 2-0 lead would be they have 8 service errors here this evening so far. 5-5 our score. Central up 2-0. Lukic brings it back with the left hand. Burmester trails one to the back row. It's Shaheen sends it long, and it's 6-5.
So Texas commit 8 service errors in the first game.
Wow.
Of a match the other night.
And we're going to see Alyssa Barkhurst for the first time coming in for Naz Shaheen. And Barkhurst,
who has played quite a bit all year long. This is a little different for us, not seeing her till Game 3.
Lady Tiger from encampment. They try to go after her, but Falslev digs that one up. Lukic cross court tallies off of Dawson Sharman, who got a piece of it, but it ended up hitting the antenna. 8 kills for Tamara Lukic.
I think targeting Barkhurst, I think that just since she came in, they're not familiar that she actually plays a lot.
Right.
She does fine in the back row. I don't think that's really
and Falslev
a weakness. Yeah.
Stuffed it anyway, and they're going to give a CWC rotation violation and give the point to Eastern.
So a service error, or not a service error, but a foot fault the other night in that match, too, which you don't see called hardly ever, even though I think it occurs part of the time.
Puts Eastern up 7-6 now. 2-0 in favor of Eastern. In favor of Central, and there's an ace. That is going to make it 8-6. J.C. Thomas with a kill and now an ace in her pocket tonight. And a 2-point Eastern lead, trailing 2-0. Wow, that was a little awkward there by Falslev. Good dig by J.C. Thomas in the back. Cross court goes Eastern. Flung back over by Jordeo. Coles crushes one. Kayla, 4th kill of the night.
Coles to serve. CBC trailing by a single point, 7-8. One of the few times they've trailed tonight.
Jordeo blocked, bringing it back up as Zimmerman. 10-foot line attack by Dawson Sharman, touched and brought back by Central. Burmester drills one past the diving J.C. Thomas, and we're at 8 apiece.
It was more of a burn-mester, the way that thing came down to the floor.
Riley with her 6th kill of the night. Kayla Coles to serve. And that one goes into the net. 10 service errors by Central.
Did they tie-dye these socks, by the way?
I do not know how we got the matching socks, to tell the honest truth.
Well, because they're tie-dye, they're probably not completely matching, but they are.
Falslev wearing the only pink jersey out of the Central archives, which I guess they didn't have enough. And another ace by Eastern. This one by Tresh. Again, she's their ace leader. That's her 34th of the season.
This is also the latest in a game that Eastern has led.
And they lead now 10-8. Burmester gets it on the outside, so over the block. Thomas is there. Someone was in the net. It's moving all over the place. Blocked by Hatterley. Back to the middle. Paris got a piece of it. Burmester brings it back. It'll be back row attempt. Lukic. Stuff block. Great timing by LaForge. On the other side, Burmester sends it cross court. Pinballed around. Thomas athletically sends it over, but too far deep, and it's 10-9.
Great hustle point.
I would say I'm going to give them kudos on that one. That one did not tally their point, but that was a great hustle by Eastern.
And CWC, too. I mean, they were out of position, I think, a couple of times, but the hustle play, not out of position. You know, they were put out of position by the
Hatterley to serve, down by 1, leading 2 games to none, however. Shanked a bit. Tresh has to go get it. Back row, flat-footed. Hatterley, Paris brings it back up and then sent over by Lukic. Middle, nope, they go right side. Blocked by Burmester. Thomas can't bring that one back over.
Well, they're working her out pretty good, aren't they?
She's answered the bell for the most part, too, has Thomas.
That's not her typical play to dig it out of the net and bring it back into play like she did there.
I asked them on a questionnaire, a celebrity or a famous person they'd most like to meet, as that ball goes through the block by LaForge, and she'll get her 7th kill. Buster Posey. Jensen Paris wants to meet Buster Posey.
She hates all things California. That's kind of confusing. At least it wasn't Paris Hilton, so.
Set. Paris will club one down in front of Kylie Tresh for her 7th kill of the night.
Burmester to serve. Thomas will put it up. The outside hit attempt. Oh, I think it was played. I think it might have gone out of bounds in the first place.
LaForge will get her 8th kill of the night.
And Hatterley, I believe that's who that touched it before it went out of bounds. LaForge to serve. That might have been a double hit that time on Paris, not called.
Lukic.
That one will not be played. It goes off the. Well, it went off the basket. I didn't know the basket was in play as well.
Wow. Paris ends the doubt anyway.
I thought it was just the ceiling is what I'd always. That's what I had thought.
I think apparently that is part of the ceiling hanging over there. I know they can't play it off the back basketball standards.
Are we in play?
We might be, and there's an ace by Cassie Falslev. 2nd ace of the night by Central. And we'll get a timeout call by Julie Scherbine and the Eastern Wyoming Lancers. They trail all of a sudden again, 13-12. Central up 2 games to none here on 88.1. Be sure to check out the fall programs for Our Recreation. They've got their own website, ourrecreation.com. You can register and pay online. They still keep their Facebook page loaded with information, but now check out more print information, register, and also pay for classes online at ourrecreation.com. Also, thanks to Fremont Therapy Group, partnering with CWC Athletics, protecting the health of your student athletes. For the past 20 years, Fremont Therapy has been volunteering their time and resources on the sidelines of local sports in Fremont County to help keep student athletes safe and healthy. 2 locations for Fremont Therapy Group, Riverton and Lander. Find them on FremontTherapyGroup.com or on Facebook at Fremont Therapy Group.
My wife and your 4th grade teacher has been a regular customer there lately after the broken foot earlier this summer.
I was going to mention something about fire damage, but well, if Nan's watching, she can't hear us.
I don't think I'll get the station in Oregon where she is right now.
Oh, okay. Falslev serving again. Central up 13-12. Outside. Curry is blocked. She'll free ball it over on the 2nd hit and send it out. And it's 14-12. Central up 2 games to nothing. On the verge of their 2nd conference victory, and we've got a shoe getting tied by Precious Williams, and
it's a much needed conference victory if they can pull it off.
You know, for confidence as much as seeding or anything else.
And I think especially going into tomorrow's match, they need it as well.
Back set. Hatterley is there. Falslev sends it over. Thomas shanked it a bit, sent deep. Burmester is there. Hatterley outside. Lukic had to adjust her approach a little bit. Ball ricochets off the ceiling, and Thomas couldn't play it off the ceiling.
Well, Lukic kind of hung in the air there like you sometimes see a basketball player to get that kill or get that kill attempt.
Lukic with her 9th kill and a 3-point Central lead. And a serve out by Falslev is service error number 11.
So I think her sister showed up at a match earlier this year because I would think they recycled the same gal as far as the false love.
She's been in a couple, has Kendra.
I've seen her. I thought I saw her too very early in the year. I've not seen her since.
Older sister played here at CWC early on in the years of
got the program.
Return of volleyball. Hatterley back set to the back row. Burmester dug by Thomas. Outside Curry, dug by Falslev in the back row. Back row attempt again, Burmester. Down the line, they say in. Eastern says otherwise, but the line judge says in. Burmester from the back row with her 7th kill of the night. And it's 16-13.
That was one that looked like they weren't trying to beg the point. I will say that for us.
Pretty emphatic. See a couple of C-Dub alumni volleyball players in the crowd here tonight as that ball goes off the top of the tape by Vitosh. One Kenesha Mueller and one Haley Hoffman. A couple of players from them last year.
Right behind the student section. Of course, Kenesha's still a student.
I was going to say,
in the nursing program, I believe.
Curry cross court is out, and it's 18-13 Central by 5 now. 7 points away from a conference sweep of Eastern Wyoming College and a timeout on the floor.
Broom, broom, broom.
Wind River Tribal College credits can transfer to a degree program at Central. If you've started your education at the Wind River Tribal College and want to complete an associate's degree, come by Rustlers Central. See how your credits can transfer to Central Wyoming College. And I think I've exhausted the live read portion of the evening.
Get your breath.
Let's go check football scores, shall we? Once again, tomorrow, Central hosting the 17th ranked team in the country, LCCC. Buffalo leading Riverton in the third quarter now 21-17.
This team's playing for a playoff berth. And Lander still up on Douglas. That is the, has to be the surprise of any of those.
Yeah, Lander up 14-7 on the Bearcats.
Boy, Torrington has been on a roll as of late, just tearing some decent teams we thought apart.
You see Torrington and Star Valley the favorites to be in that state title game.
Riverton has next week is Torrington?
Yes, on the road at Torrington.
I want to start the vehicles about now.
Tearing up that Rollins defense to the tune of 49-8 right now. Rollins, a team that
lost their quarterback last week.
And still ended up winning over Riverton last week.
Our basketball player, a female basketball player's brother, ended up playing quarterback, in fact.
Bailey Forney. 18-13 Central out of the timeout. They lead 2-0 on the verge.
That's probably half the points they've given up this year, Rollins, I'm thinking.
Set to the outside, just past. That's Cody Edwards of Wright High School, the 5'9 freshman. Third on the team in blocks at 25 on the season. She'll get a kill.
18-14, by the way.
It's time to take a little trip or dial my cell phone number. Falslev to Lukic, blocked back at him. At the net, joust, sent over, brought back over by Edwards. Lukic down the line, is in.
She's played one of her better matches, I think, tonight as well.
10 kills. She's the first to double digits by either team. Lizette LaForge has 8 on the other side for Eastern. Lukic, hard serve. Curry is there. Trying to poke that one over was Zimmerman. Can't. 20-14. Julie Sherbein up, but not calling a timeout. Central leads again 2-0. Lukic.
Well, she's got no timeouts left.
Well, that could be why. And that ball through by Dawson Sharman for her 7th kill of the night.
She could pull a Chris Webber and see how that works in volleyball.
That one goes out. Just the 4th service error of the night by Eastern. Sorry.
And I'm thinking when you're trailing by 5, you can't risk, sure you might get an ace, but you can't risk the possibility of it being, a service error.
Risk reward for sure. Kayla Cole's serve just skims the net. Zimmerman got a piece of it. Cross the outside. Dawson Sharman out. And they put the point up on the wrong side. It went 21-16. I don't think that is correct.
Yeah.
I think it's 22-15, is it not? I saw the point go up on the other side at 16. Hatterley outside. left hand Burmester. How about that with the left hand?
We've seen the left hand from her this year, I don't believe.
They're going to come talk to the scorekeeper. I think it's 23-15. They put up the point on the wrong side a minute ago. It's 23-15. And they will now make the adjustment there.
Well, part of it.
Serving Coles.
There we go.
Score is now correct. At the net, Hatterley. Nice job by Coles. Outside Burmester. She used the right hand this time, but didn't put it over. And it's 23-16.
And of all the shots, she spanked pretty good. That one, she just kind of got indecision. I think he came up short.
Central 2 points away.
I didn't hit the mic.
No, yeah, you're throwing stuff around with your table activity. Maybe you were having an episode there for a minute. Back set Coles. Actually, it's Paris off the block. Jensen has 9 kills.
Game, set, match point.
And we want a substitution at match point, but there's nobody coming in. Jada's going to go in for Tamara Lukic at match point.
We thought we might see it libero actually this evening because she had played it before, I believe against Miles City, wasn't it?
Yes. Crowd on their feet for match point. Hatterley to serve. Nice tough serve. Sending it over is Sharman. Free ball from Burmester to the back, from the back. Back set over the top of the block and in. Tally it for Precious Williams. That is her first kill of the night.
And that's about that. Spendolo actually had the hand on the ball in that point, so she just did not come in and not touch it. Here she'll play it, in fact.
Get a receive. Burmester. Roll shot poked in the air by Sharman. Free ball not going to happen, and Central is victorious. A much-needed conference victory for the Central Wyoming College ladies tonight, and they do so in convincing fashion with 25-22, 25-22, and 25-17 scores. CWC has dispatched the Eastern Wyoming Lancers here tonight and has drawn them even with them in the conference standings now at 2-6, tied for 6th place. And
I still contend they will play one of those two teams that are playing tonight, Northwest and Casper. I know we're a ways away, but I really believe they're going to get one of those two in the first round.
Central victorious here tonight as they will huddle one more time on the court. They win it 25-17. And Central 2-6 overall on the conference season, 5-14 overall on the entire seasons. Eastern drops to 4-22 overall, 2-6 in Region 9 volleyball. Central wins 25-22, 22-17. And we will take a break as Coach Narshea Gallard returns her pencil back to its rightful owner, one Joel Kindle.
It's my leader dogs for the blind pencil as well.
It's time for the Click It or Ticket post-game show brought to you by the Wyoming Department of Transportation. We'll give you some final stats, and we will also pick our Gatorade Player of the Game. We'll do that after this. You've been watching and listening Rustler Volleyball on Rustler Media.
After a hard day's work, you deserve it. When catching up with your friends, you deserve it. Grabbing a drink or two with the missus, you deserve it. But drive after a few, and you deserve it. Stop your coworker